This is the second of 4 basic junction videos. It explains turning right from a major to a minor road, sometimes referred to as a side road. It assumes you've watched the left approach video and are familiar with MSPSL. We're going to turn right from a single carriageway with only one lane in each direction. We're planning to take the next road on the right. We'll once again expand MSM to MSPSL. It's worth memorising this sequence of letters as it applies to all sorts of driving situations. Let's take a quick look at what we're trying to achieve. Now for the detail. We start the video on a major road planning to take the next road on the right. M is for mirrors. We check the rear view mirror to see what's following us and how close it is. If we're being followed closely, we can consider an earlier signal to give more warning that we're about to slow down. As we're planning to turn right, we'll be adjusting our road positions soon. It's absolutely vital to check for overtaking vehicles before we signal. Allow them to overtake before we give a signal, or we change our road position. S is for signal. We need to let other road users know what we're planning before we adjust our position or change lanes. Just like the left turn, signal if any other road users may benefit, including cyclists and pedestrians, but do not confuse other road users. Your signal should also warn following vehicles against overtaking you. By the way, that really wasn't a good place for an overtake. P is for position. Position your vehicle near the centre line, but not over it. We need to position to allow vehicles to pass us on the left if possible, but not scare oncoming drivers or riders, or make them swerve. It's safer to take up your position before you reduce your speed to allow following vehicles to pass you on the left, which they should only do if you are signalling right and there's enough room. S is for speed. Try to arrive at the turn when there's a gap in the oncoming traffic so that you do not need to stop. Like when turning left, slow down progressively, showing brake lights to any vehicles behind. L is for look. Look into the side road as early as possible. You may need to adjust your planned route. You must give way to oncoming vehicles on the major road. Vehicles emerging from the minor road may turn left whilst you turn right, but if they're planning a right turn, they should wait for you. If you need to stop, do so about a metre short of the turning point. The turning point is where an imaginary line from the centre of the minor road meets the centre line of the major road. Depending on your seating position, you can line up your door mirror with the centre of the side road to find this position. If you'll be waiting more than a couple of seconds, it's safer to apply your handbrake. If there's no traffic queuing behind you, keep your foot on the foot brake to show brake lights to vehicles approaching from behind. Once there's traffic queuing behind you, release the foot brake to avoid dazzling drivers or riders, especially at night. When waiting to turn, it's safer to keep your wheels straight. If you're hit by a vehicle behind you, you could be pushed into oncoming traffic. Keeping the wheels straight reduces the severity of any collision. Just before you turn, it's important to check for anyone who may be overtaking you whilst you've been waiting. Never assume other road users will follow all the rules. It's your job to try to avoid a collision even if other drivers are reckless. To assess when to go and when to wait, as a rule of thumb, if you have time to walk across the road, you should have time to turn right from a standing start. If you could not walk safely in front of an approaching vehicle, you should wait for that vehicle to pass. You should not make oncoming vehicles slow down to allow you to turn. You need to assess both the distance and the speed of any approaching vehicle. Turn your wheels at the turning point just as you start moving. Do not cut the corner. Your wheels should not cross the centre line of the minor road. This is a good time to consider how similar scenarios could result in different levels of fault on a UK driving test. If you cut the corner for a valid reason, such as to avoid a parked vehicle, and it's safe to do so, this is what you're expected to do, and it therefore would not be recorded as a fault. If you cut the corner for no valid reason, in other words, you could have safely turned without cutting the corner, this is a driving fault, even if it was safe. It's not a reason to fail the test unless you repeatedly cut corners, demonstrating a bad habit. If you cut the corner but you could not have seen that it was safe to do so, this is a serious fault, even though it turned out to be safe. Drivers should never rely on luck to prevent a collision. This would result in a test fail. If you cut the corner and it was not safe, for instance a car was approaching from the minor road and you or the other driver had to take avoiding action, this is a dangerous fault. Again, a test fail would result. You are guaranteed to have to deal with badly and correctly parked cars often. Start to straighten the wheels just before the car is straight, check behind you and to the right before accelerating, cancel the signal if it hasn't automatically cancelled, and gently accelerate to an appropriate speed for the new road. This is the second of 4 basic junction videos. Watch for new videos soon. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed these videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's free to subscribe, and if you click the bell icon, you'll be notified when the channel has new videos to watch.